Okay, and for completeness sake, this is a security audit after auto secure with all features enabled. That means typing in auto secure and securing both the management and the forwarding plane. And you can see we still have 9 items that did not meet the expectations of the security audit. And this is what I was talking about earlier, is that although it says banner is not set, auto secure configures the message of the day banner, and one-step lockdown configures the login banner. So when the security audit is looking for a banner being set, even though you have an MOTD banner, it's looking specifically for the login banner. And you can see this by, like I said, clicking on fix it and stepping through and seeing what commands it would send to fix this. So, it's got 9 things that aren't set. So technically with the, this shouldn't come as any surprise, with the SDM, the one-step lockdown feature secures the router more in tune with what Cisco has described as best security practices in the SDM. The significant differences we listed on the slides before we got into these security audits. Again, good information if you're looking at both of them. Also good to know for the CCNA security exam. Okay, so this is the final slide. One-step lockdown. Use it. Again, if you've seen the auto secure video, a lot of this is going to be the same advice. The biggest advantage of using one-step lockdown is you can harden a router with a single mouse click, blessing and curse. One-step lockdown is intended to assist those who don't know much about routers and want to make sure that their device is secure. Here's where the blessing and curse part come in. So it's kind of like a snake eating its own tail. You don't know much about Cisco routers or how they work, so you use this really easy, cool feature to harden your router. If everything goes great, that's awesome. But as soon as something breaks due to your configuration, because you don't know about Cisco routers, you don't have the capability to troubleshoot it. Rolling this back, for the love of all things holy, please, please, please do not write the running configuration until you're sure that your running configuration is working. Leave yourself that safety net. Worst case scenario, reboot the router, go into your, to steal a Microsoft term, your known good configuration. That will save you some heartache. And as we mentioned in the differences between auto-secure and one-step lockdown, auto-secure asks you for some input. One-step lockdown does not. It's easier to configure, but at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, you do have to do some initial steps, which is to enable your router to be accessed via SDM. So it's kind of a trade-off there. So if one-step lockdown is something that you want to use, go ahead and use it. I like this because you can run the security audit and disable any changes that one-step lockdown made with minimal configuration expertise. You're just clicking a few buttons. As I mentioned in the auto secure video, I would use this feature with fresh routers out of the box, minimal configuration on there. If you have a lab, definitely do that. Set up, simulate your network and the configurations that you have on your network. Throw one-step lockdown on there, see what it breaks. Lab versus production, you try to get as close as you can. What you want to do is you want to minimize breaking something on a production router with this command set. One other thing I would mention is that if you have a, for lack of a better term, mature network, probably don't want to do this, because if you've got specialized configurations or complicated configurations on your existing production routers, I wouldn't introduce this into that environment. What I guess I'm saying is don't go ahead and set up SDM access for your production routers. Pop through, click a button, and say, hey, I'm a security expert. I've hardened all our routers, because you're just asking for trouble there. And also the rollback on the SDM via the security audit. We'll see this on the SDM. There's some bits that you need to know what you're doing before you roll stuff back, because it does odd shit. And we'll see that. Final point here before we're done with the slides. Okay, and finally, definitely give the Cisco Router and Secure Device Manager 2.5 user guide section on security audit a read, as it includes information on the one-step lockdown. More importantly, it has a very nice breakdown of each of the, well, I got features written here, basically the services that the one-step lockdown will configure. And it's really good information for getting yourself up to speed with these services, because a lot of these things you don't run into generally. I mean, TCP small servers, finger, pad, for Christ's sakes, that's an X25 command set. So this is really nice, even if you're not going to use one-step lockdown. I think this is a nice repository of Cisco services, what they do, and how to go ahead and disable them. So give that a read, especially if you're going to be taking the CCNA security exam or any of the CCSP exams. Alright, well, I'm used to saying I'll see you on the CLI, but I guess in this case I will see you on the GUI. Laters.